Welcome to the Bible in a Year reading plan. Together we will read through the entire Bible. A portion from the Old Testament, New Testament, Psalms and Proverbs every day. Today's reading is in the video image. Read along, listen daily, and grow in the Word. Don't forget to like and subscribe to stay on track with us daily. And you can always go back to previous videos if you miss any days. Genesis 41:1 Then it came to pass, at the end of 2 full years, that Pharaoh had a dream, and behold, he stood by the river. 2 Suddenly there came up out of the river 7 cows, fine-looking and fat, and they fed in the meadow. 3 Then behold, 7 other cows came up after them out of the river, ugly and gaunt, and stood by the other cows on the bank of the river. 4 And the ugly and gaunt cows ate up the 7 fine-looking and fat cows. So Pharaoh awoke. 5 He slept and dreamed a second time, and suddenly 7 heads of grain came up on one stalk, plump and good. 6 Then behold, 7 thin heads, blighted by the east wind, sprang up after them. 7 And the 7 thin heads devoured the 7 plump and full heads. So Pharaoh awoke, and indeed, it was a dream. 8 Now it came to pass in the morning that his spirit was troubled, and he sent and called for all the magicians of Egypt and all its wise men. And Pharaoh told them his dreams, but there was no one who could interpret them for Pharaoh. 9 Then the chief butler spoke to Pharaoh, saying, I remember my faults this day. 10 When Pharaoh was angry with his servants, and put me in custody in the house of the captain of the guard, both me and the chief baker. 11 We each had a dream in one night, he and I. Each of us dreamed according to the interpretation of his own dream. 12 Now there was a young Hebrew man with us there, a servant of the captain of the guard. And we told him, and he interpreted our dreams for us. To each man he interpreted according to his own dream. 13 And it came to pass, just as he interpreted for us, so it happened. He restored me to my office, and he hanged him. 14 Then Pharaoh sent and called Joseph, and they brought him quickly out of the dungeon. And he shaved, changed his clothing, and came to Pharaoh. 15 And Pharaoh said to Joseph, I have had a dream, and there is no one who can interpret it. But I have heard it said of you that you can understand a dream, to interpret it. 16 So Joseph answered Pharaoh, saying, It is not in me. God will give Pharaoh an answer of peace. 17 Then Pharaoh said to Joseph, Behold, in my dream I stood on the bank of the river. 18 Suddenly 7 cows came up out of the river, fine-looking and fat, and they fed in the meadow. 19 Then behold, 7 other cows came up after them, poor and very ugly and gaunt, such ugliness as I have never seen in all the land of Egypt. 20 And the gaunt and ugly cows ate up the first 7, the fat cows. 21 When they had eaten them up, no one would have known that they had eaten them, for they were just as ugly as at the beginning. So I awoke. 22 Also I saw in my dream, and suddenly 7 heads came up on one stalk, full and good. 23 Then behold, 7 heads, withered, thin, and blighted by the east wind, sprang up after them. 24 And the thin heads devoured the 7 good heads. So I told this to the magicians, but there was no one who could explain it to me. 25 Then Joseph said to Pharaoh, The dreams of Pharaoh are one. God has shown Pharaoh what he is about to do. 26 The 7 good cows are 7 years, and the 7 good heads are 7 years. The dreams are 1.27 And the 7 thin and ugly cows which came up after them are 7 years, and the 7 empty heads blighted by the east wind are 7 years of famine. 28 This is the thing which I have spoken to Pharaoh. God has shown Pharaoh what he is about to do. 29 Indeed 7 years of great plenty will come throughout all the land of Egypt. 30 But after them 7 years of famine will arise, and all the plenty will be forgotten in the land of Egypt, and the famine will deplete the land. 31 So the plenty will not be known in the land because of the famine following, for it will be very severe. 32 And the dream was repeated to Pharaoh twice because the thing is established by God, and God will shortly bring it to pass. 33 Now therefore, let Pharaoh select a discerning and wise man, and set him over the land of Egypt. 34 Let Pharaoh do this, and let him appoint officers over the land. to collect 1/5 of the produce of the land of Egypt in the 7 plentiful years. 35 And let them gather all the food of those good years that are coming, and store up grain under the authority of Pharaoh, and let them keep food in the cities. 36 Then that food shall be as a reserve for the land for the 7 years of famine which shall be in the land of Egypt, that the land may not perish during the famine. 37 So the advice was good in the eyes of Pharaoh and in the eyes of all his servants. 38 And Pharaoh said to his servants, Can we find such a one as this, a man in whom is the Spirit of God? 39 Then Pharaoh said to Joseph, Inasmuch as God has shown you all this, there is no one as discerning and wise as you. 40 You shall be over my house, and all my people shall be ruled according to your word. Only in regard to the throne will I be greater than you. 41 And Pharaoh said to Joseph, See, I have set you over all the land of Egypt. 42 Then Pharaoh took his signet ring off his hand and put it on Joseph's hand, and he clothed him in garments of fine linen and put a gold chain around his neck. 43 And he had him ride in the second chariot which he had, and they cried out before him, Bow the knee. So he set him over all the land of Egypt. 44 Pharaoh also said to Joseph, I am Pharaoh, and without your consent no man may lift his hand or foot in all the land of Egypt. 45 And Pharaoh called Joseph's name Zaphnath-Paneah, and he gave him as a wife Asenath, the daughter of Potiphar, a priest of On. So Joseph went out over all the land of Egypt. 46 Joseph was 30 years old when he stood before Pharaoh king of Egypt. And Joseph went out from the presence of Pharaoh, and went throughout all the land of Egypt. 47 Now in the 7 plentiful years the ground brought forth abundantly. 48 So he gathered up all the food of the 7 years which were in the land of Egypt, and laid up the food in the cities. He laid up in every city the food of the fields which surrounded them. 49 Joseph gathered very much grain, as the sand of the sea, until he stopped counting, for it was immeasurable. 50 And to Joseph were born 2 sons before the years of famine came, whom Asenath, the daughter of Potiphar, a priest of On, bore to him. 51 Joseph called the name of the firstborn Manasseh, for God has made me forget all my toil and all my father's house. 52 And the name of the second he called Ephraim, for God has caused me to be fruitful in the land of my affliction. 53 Then the 7 years of plenty which were in the land of Egypt ended. 54 And the 7 years of famine began to come, as Joseph had said. The famine was in all lands, but in all the land of Egypt there was bread. 55 So when all the land of Egypt was famished, the people cried to Pharaoh for bread. Then Pharaoh said to all the Egyptians, Go to Joseph, whatever he says to you, do. 56 The famine was over all the face of the earth, and Joseph opened all the storehouses and sold to the Egyptians. And the famine became severe in the land of Egypt. 57 So all countries came to Joseph in Egypt to buy grain, because the famine was severe in all lands. Matthew 13. On the same day Jesus went out of the house and sat by the sea. 2 And great multitudes were gathered together to him, so that he got into a boat and sat, and the whole multitude stood on the shore. 3 Then he spoke many things to them in parables, saying, Behold, a sower went out to sow. 4 And as he sowed, some seed fell by the wayside, and the birds came and devoured them. 5 Some fell on stony places, where they did not have much earth, and they immediately sprang up because they had no depth of earth. 6 But when the sun was up they were scorched, and because they had no root they withered away. 7 And some fell among thorns, and the thorns sprang up and choked them. 8 But others fell on good ground and yielded a crop, some 100-fold, some 60, some 30. 9 He who has ears to hear, let him hear. 10 And the disciples came and said to him, Why do you speak to them in parables? 11 He answered and said to them, Because it has been given to you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, but to them it has not been given. 12 For whoever has, to him more will be given, and he will have abundance. But whoever does not have, even what he has will be taken away from him. 13 Therefore I speak to them in parables, because seeing they do not see, and hearing they do not hear, nor do they understand. 14 And in them the prophecy of Isaiah is fulfilled, which says, Hearing you will hear and shall not understand, and seeing you will see and not perceive. 15 For the hearts of this People have grown dull. Their ears are hard of hearing, and their eyes they have closed, lest they should see with their eyes and hear with their ears, lest they should understand with their hearts and turn, so that I should heal them. 16. But blessed are your eyes, for they see, and your ears, for they hear. 17. For assuredly, I say to you that many prophets and righteous men desired to see what you see, and did not see it, and to hear what you hear, and did not hear it. 18. Therefore hear the parable of the sower. 19. When anyone hears the word of the kingdom, and does not understand it, then the wicked one comes and snatches away what was sown in his heart. This is he who received seed by the wayside. 20. But he who received the seed on stony places, this is he who hears the word and immediately receives it with joy. 21. Yet he has no root in himself, but endures only for a while. For when tribulation or persecution arises because of the word, immediately he stumbles. 22. Now he who received seed among the thorns is he who hears the word, and the cares of this world and the deceitfulness of riches choke the word, and he becomes unfruitful. 23. But he who receives seed on the good ground is he who hears the word and understands it, who indeed bears fruit and produces, some 100-fold, some 60, some 30. Psalm 17. 1. A prayer of David. Hear a just cause, O Lord, attend to my cry. Give ear to my prayer which is not from deceitful lips. 2. Let my vindication come from your presence. Let your eyes look on the things that are upright. 3. You have tested my heart. You have visited me in the night. You have tried me and have found nothing. I have purposed that my mouth shall not transgress. 4. Concerning the works of men, by the word of your lips, I have kept away from the paths of the destroyer. 5. Uphold my steps in your paths, that my footsteps may not slip. 6. I have called upon you, for you will hear me. O God, incline your ear to me, and hear my speech. 7. Show your marvelous loving kindness by your right hand, O you who save those who trust in you from those who rise up against them. 8. Keep me as the apple of your eye. Hide me under the shadow of your wings. 9. From the wicked who oppress me, from my deadly enemies who surround me. 10. They have closed up their fat hearts. With their mouths they speak proudly. 11. They have now surrounded us in our steps. They have set their eyes, crouching down to the earth. 12. As a lion is eager to tear his prey, and like a young lion lurking in secret places. 13. Arise, O Lord, confront him, cast him down. Deliver my life from the wicked with your sword. 14. With your hand from men, O Lord, from men of the world who have their portion in this life, and whose belly you fill with your hidden treasure. They are satisfied with children, and leave the rest of their possession for their babes. 15. As for me, I will see your face in righteousness. I shall be satisfied when I awake in your likeness. Proverbs 17. 1. Better is a dry morsel with quietness than a house full of feasting with strife. 2. A wise servant will rule over a son who causes shame, and will share an inheritance among the brothers. 3. The refining pot is for silver and the furnace for gold, but the Lord tests the hearts. 4. An evildoer gives heed to false lips. A liar listens eagerly to a spiteful tongue. 5. He who mocks the poor reproaches his maker. He who is glad at calamity will not go unpunished. 6. Children's children are the crown of old men, and the glory of children is their father. 7. Excellent speech is not becoming to a fool, much less lying lips to a prince. 8. A present is a precious stone in the eyes of its possessor. Wherever he turns, he prospers. 9. He who covers a transgression seeks love, but he who repeats a matter separates friends. 10. Rebuke is more effective for a wise man than 100 blows on a fool. 11. An evil man seeks only rebellion, therefore a cruel messenger will be sent against him. 12. Let a man meet a bear robbed of her cubs, rather than a fool in his folly. 13. Whoever rewards evil for good, evil will not depart from his house. 14. The beginning of strife is like releasing water, therefore stop contention before a quarrel starts. 15. He who justifies the wicked, and he who condemns the just, both of them alike are an abomination to the Lord. 16. Why is there in the hand of a fool the purchase price of wisdom, since he has no heart for it? 17. A friend loves at all times, and a brother is born for Adversity. 18 A man devoid of understanding shakes hands in a pledge, and becomes surety for his friend. 19 He who loves transgression loves strife, and he who exalts his gate seeks destruction. 20 He who has a deceitful heart finds no good, and he who has a perverse tongue falls into evil. 21 He who begets a scoffer does so to his sorrow, and the father of a fool has no joy. 22 A merry heart does good, like medicine, but a broken spirit dries the bones. 23 A wicked man accepts a bribe behind the back to pervert the ways of justice. 24 Wisdom is in the sight of him who has understanding, but the eyes of a fool are on the ends of the earth. 25 A foolish son is a grief to his father, and bitterness to her who bore him. 26 Also, to punish the righteous is not good, nor to strike princes for their uprightness. 27 He who has knowledge spares his words, and a man of understanding is of a calm spirit. 28 Even a fool is counted wise when he holds his peace. When he shuts his lips, he is considered perceptive. Thanks for reading with me today. Come back tomorrow as we continue our journey through the Bible. Like and subscribe so you don't miss the next day.